What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So welcome to Tuesday's episode. So if you have not already, please go back and listen to Monday, where we discuss how DHS physical security blueprints and documentation were stolen from a company named Johnson Controls, and how that may impact future attestation, things of that nature. But please continue to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So we, again, record-breaking traffic last month. So we like to keep that up if possible. We also want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you can, please go there and then hit the subscribe button and look at our beautiful faces. Without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from securityweek.com. And the title of it is National Security Agency is starting an artificial intelligence security center, right? So exactly as it sounds, NSA is starting an AI security center, right? So, and the reason for this is where we're being led, right? Like anybody who's paying attention to any type of news, right? It doesn't even have to necessarily be cybersecurity or IT news. Like you're seeing all types of stuff when it comes to AI, right? You don't even necessarily have to be paying attention to this field, because you got people that, you know, if you're taking classes in college or whatever, right, you're probably getting familiar with it as you're having it write papers for you and things of that nature, right? Hopefully not getting, well, let me not say hopefully not getting caught. If you are cheating, hope you get caught. I'll say that, right? So I don't want to say hope you don't get caught, because I do. I hope you get caught. Learn the material. But the gist of it, right, is exactly as it sounds, right? NSA is starting an artificial intelligence security center because AI capabilities are increasingly being developed and implemented into, you know, the United States government, DoD, like all around, right? So the agency's outgoing director, which is Army General Paul Nakasone, said they're going to be incorporating into the NSA Cybersecurity Collaboration Center, where it works with private industry and international partners to harden the U.S. defense industrial base against threats from adversaries led by China and Russia, right? And the reason for this is because we know China and Russia are getting into this game as well, right? Like it's like the space race. Like anything we do or anything they do, we're there to be right there with it, right? Like we're trying to stay at least even, if not ahead of them when it comes to these things, right? And especially with AI, because again, this is the way of the world now, right? So everybody is implementing AI for one reason or another, right? Like we've done the story recently, is probably a month ago now, 3-4 weeks ago now. We talked about DoD getting in bed with AI. I believe it was with Microsoft. Is that right? Was that who it was that was doing it? Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, this is the way of the world. This is the way it's going, right? So like we know. We've seen in this current administration, like they've been very serious. They've been putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to cybersecurity and things of that nature. And this goes hand in hand with that. Like that's what this entails, right? So if you're going to get into the AI game, this is the road we're going down. Now what they talk about in this, right? So something to keep in mind is that people may hear this, and I know I joke about it, right? I talk about how Skynet's going to take over this, that, and the third. The way things are done for now, right? I will preface it with for now is that AI does a lot of helping when it comes to decision making, but the actual pushing of the button, the actual implementation is still always done by humans, right? That's the way it is now. Not to say it's not the case, you know, in the future, because it may become self-aware, and then you know what happens then, right? All the missiles fire off. Everybody has to go into the shelter. No, I'm joking, but maybe I'm joking. Maybe I'm not. But but no, this is something that is needed in this day and age, right? So even as much as I joke about how, you know, technology will kill us all, AI will go out there and make us all its slaves. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of the route we have to go, right? So like we have to make sure there are things that are not happening out there, and we're protecting against them. Like we'd be kind of foolish not to get into this game knowing that there are adversaries out there, you know, Russia, China, North Korea, that are also using these things, and we're not doing anything to prepare ourselves for it. But again, all the decisions are made by humans, right? Which not to say that that's always right, but it's usually there's more compassion when it comes to the human interaction, when it comes to certain things being made, right? Certain decisions being made. But it's one of those things This is going to be General Nakasone, right, who's the outgoing director, says this is going to be NSA's focal point for leveraging foreign intelligence insights, contributing to the development of best practices, guidelines, principles, evaluation, methodology, and risk frameworks, right? This is the goal. Like, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to stay ahead of the game. And this is how we do it, right? So we are going to start seeing more of this get implemented into U.S. government agencies and things of that nature, right? So him being the dual leader of NSA and U.S. Cyber Command, like, he's seeing a lot of things from both sides, right? Like U.S. Cyber Command, you're going to have a lot more military on that side and what they're dealing with, and NSA is, I'm not going to say more civilian, it's still for the government, but you have more civilians on that side, to where you're seeing both sides of the coin here, right? So this is the route we have to go, right, to stay on top of everything. So, Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I do find it interesting that he had to they had to imply that the decisions are made by human beings, right? That, you know, that I guess to dissuade panic and things of that nature. Like, no, the system does not control itself. It's not out there making decisions all willy nilly, but it's to augment human, either the analyst or operator or whomever the title of the person is that's collecting information before they make the decision. And that's the way it always is, right? I think it's a lot of misnomer or misunderstanding of how AI works. People think it's just out there thinking for itself, right? It's like, you know, Star Trek, making decisions and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, all that it's really doing is just it's more efficient. It's more streamlined in collecting the data necessary for the person to make the decision. So I'm all for it. But I say that, and then Skynet does become self-aware and it eradicates us. So when I think of NSA and AI, because NSA has those humongous buildings that had to take a lot of water because their data centers are so huge. So when I think of it as just like a big structure, it's just like a big, you know, cybernetic brain sucking in the entire internet, and then making those hard choices, like Dave. You know, the AI is like, Dave, uh, I'm going to have to shut the internet down. Um,
It's like Vicky from iRobot, right?
yeah,
Like,
Vicky from iRobot. Yep, there you go. But uh, in all seriousness, though, like I think it is a good move. I did not know that Nakasone was the dual lead of NSA and U.S. Cyber Command. I was not tracking that. I thought U.S. Cyber Command was already led by a general. So it's kind of cool to see that the U.S. Cyber Command Lieutenant General Timothy Hague, his current deputy, will be taking over. So go Air Force. Um, but at the same time, I'm hoping that they plus their numbers up. So like my whole thing is my fear of AI is not it taking over and killing mankind and things of that nature. My fear now is that it takes over all of the good jobs, because you need less people, right? Like, people are expensive, but uh, if I can make this thing at scale and then just pay for licenses, then I need one less operator. I need two less operators. At the end of the day, it's like a person working an 8-hour shift, and then AI is the rest of the team. So that's the implication for me is I don't want AI to take the good job. I want to take the fast food jobs. I want to take the jobs that nobody wants to do, so that way human beings can focus on, because that's the future, right? Human beings will have the high paying salary jobs. We'll be able to focus on the arts and things of that nature, right? But it feels like it feels like implementation of AI is doing the opposite right now. Like, AI is being used to do people's homework. It's being used to write articles, create art, right? Like, you have like entire sectors of TV being generated by AI. It's writing TV shows. Like, it's taking all the good stuff that human beings should be doing, as opposed to the other stuff, right? So it will be relegated to working for AI by at the end of the day, in factories. Well, AI is making all the hard boss decisions for us. But as a weird side tangent, I just went on. Um, in the implications of the article, I am very interested in how we are implementing AI to to combat voter fraud, to combat cyber attacks and things of that nature, because we already know it's being weaponized by our peers, our near peers around the globe. So I'd like to see how that counter defense is being developed and kind of being built at scale. Uh, Really interests me because I know very little about AI. I think like not to put my weaknesses on other people, but I think a lot of people know very little bit about AI, right? I think it's only a few subject matter experts out there. So I need to get more educated on how it works and how it's being implemented because I really have no idea outside of Copilot and Chat GPT, right? I don't know how it's being used by industry. So it's I find it both fascinating and kind of scary because I feel like I'm getting behind, right? I don't actually understand, and I'm starting to see a lot of job posts as well saying like, "Do you have AI knowledge or experience?" And they want years of it, and I'm just like, "No, man, this thing just rolled out." I need 5 years of AI experience. Like, what were we doing 4 years ago? I'm sure we were, right? Like, because cybersecurity is now the hot new hotness, but it's been around for 30 years. But if that's the case, then I'm very far behind on AI and how it works. Um,
No, the job postings are just ridiculous, man. Like we've talked about.
right. You need 30 years of AI experience. You're like, man, listen, I just found out about Siri like a couple years ago.
You just talked about it in Terminator 2 30 years ago. Like how we got
Right.
experience in this. You know?
Right. So, but no, I find it fascinating. It's going to be interesting to see the direction of the NSA and Cyber Command in the near future. I just came from that Cyber Summit over in Huntsville, Alabama. It was very interesting how people are using AI tools and things of that nature. One interesting one, and not to go on another rant, but what I saw was I think it was uh, oh man, I always say the name right. It's not Doolittle. It's Deloitte. There you go. Deloitte had a booth and they were showing off how they can go from maybe one all the way to 8 tiers of this is where the device, this is the end device. Here's all the vendors who made the device, and then here's where they got their parts from, and then all the way down to the mine. I think I talked about that last week as well. I just found it fascinating, right? Like using AI as well as human intelligence, because it's a lot of human intelligence collecting this stuff to be able to give you your entire supply chain so that way you can vet out bad actors. So AI is here to stay. AI is only going to become more robust. But even in that circumstance, you still had intelligence. You had people who fed the system, and then the system from there made intelligent decisions to be able to map out your entire supply chain. Um, so I think it's pretty cool, and I look forward to seeing what NSA is doing with it because NSA is always doing some really cool stuff. So like what they're showing us versus what they're holding close to the vest is always fascinating, right? So uh, I'm just fanboying out about it, but we'll see what the future holds. I definitely want to circle back to this article in a few months because I'm sure that it's going to have implications on the presidential election, right? So like even an article says like we're not extremely concerned right now. We're not seeing a lot of activity right now. However, there's a bunch of world elections happening beforehand, so we're going to get our reps in before it gets to us in 2024. So that's also very cool to be able to see how that's going to scale, right? How will we help our allies out now will determine how we have to defend ourselves come election day next year. So but definitely continue to tune in to the show. I promise like all of them aren't rants like this. I don't know. I just talk about 30 different things. Check us out for tomorrow's episode, which actually will be a discussion about the government shutdown and those implications, even though we have a continuous resolution. So this is timely. And then Friday's everything else. So movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So hit us up at the websites that go by our name. Give me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. I'm on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.